Welcome back. What happens in life when your beloved spouse of almost 39 years suddenly passes away? How do you go on? Here to talk about life, loss, and love is author Becky Cooper. Her book is titled, Hey God, Yes Charles, Conversations on Life, Loss, and Love. Good morning. Glad to have you here this morning. I'm so excited for people to hear your story and what you've been able to put together in a book. Let's start with the title of this book and kind of what this is and what you hope to bring to other people who are watching this morning.
Thank you for asking. After Charles died, it was such a terrible time. I was so mad at God, and I just thought, okay, thousands of prayers were sent up, didn't do any good, I'm done. And yet somewhere in that first year, I sort of began to overhear these conversations between Charles and God, and it was very casual, and it was very Charles because he would work the room anyway, so I guess it should be no surprise that he was doing that in heaven. And it would be like, hey God, yes Charles, and then they would have this brief conversation about, often about something I was doing, and it was helpful and insightful, and I just began to scribble them down, and that's how it started.
And I know it took you a little while to get to that place, and I love that you're so honest that, you say in the beginning, I was mad at God, like I was very unhappy, with kind of how things turned out.
Absolutely.
How did you manage to get to this place, where you were able to kind of scribble all of this down and say, hey, let's do something with this?
It took a while. It was really hard, and especially in the beginning. And I think now, although I didn't realize it at the time, when I look back at the conversations that I was scribbling down, that was helpful. That, I think, was therapy. And I think that was Charles and God's way of keeping both of them in my life, and that's what I needed.
So for people watching this morning who this is something that we're all going to have to go through in life, death is just unfortunately a part of what we're going to have to deal with. What's your message to them? How do you cope?
It is hard to cope, but I would hope that people would walk away from my story knowing that their story can also have hope, and it is possible to make something good come out of something bad.
May take you a little while to get there,
Absolutely.
but it is possible. Well, with your book, people can get it on Amazon. That's probably the easiest way to get it. And how have you enjoyed, I have to ask, how have you enjoyed your time here in Florida? You've kind of been doing a little bit of traveling. You're originally from Tennessee. That's your home.
I am, Carly, and I have loved it here. I came here to spend a month to do some traveling locally and have just been knocked out by the folks, the nature, the simplicity, and just the welcoming nature. I love your state.
Oh, well, good. Well, again, so glad to have you on the show. Glad to have you in Florida for a little bit. Go to Amazon to check out there. And I tell you what, I think Charles would be proud. I didn't know him, but just to see how humble you are and kind of sharing your story.
I hope so. Thank you.
Well, hey, we have a giveaway right now. The second and fourth person to call 239-673-3388 will each win a copy of Becky's book. You can't win, though, if you've won something with us over the last 120 days. So good luck. Becky, thank you so much again. It was such a pleasure to meet you. All right, we'll send it over to staff.
Up next, the perfect mix of energy and nutrients to get you going in the morning. How this week's family favorite will give you reasons to rise and shine.